Welcome to Blinkers Off with your hosts, Jared Welch and Aaron Halterman.
What is up? What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. It is Thursday, July 11th, and this is Blinkers Off. What is up? Happy opening day at Saratoga.
Yeah, it's in the books now as we take on the air here. But yeah, a great first day is off the turf. We hated that, but other than that, still a very fun first day. Had a couple of nice winners and a couple of not so nice races that cost me some money. But overall, day one in the books. But we've got a lot more to come that's going to be a lot better than today, including what we're going to talk about on this show. These races we're going to talk about are awesome.
Today felt a little bit like a test run at Saratoga, because of the off the turf stuff, and it just was like it's here, but it's not quite here. We'll get there tomorrow, and of course Saturday. Saturday is just, we're going to talk about all Saturday and one stakes on Sunday, but the Diana is. If you need any indication of Saratoga is back, it's the Diana.
Yep, no question.
It's insane.
It's loaded. It's what you want from a race like this. From a grade one, the first grade one of the meet. It's got everybody you would want in it. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Christopher, I asked him. I was like, because if you guys were with us there for the Hawthorne Live, I was like, dude, I don't know how you do this. Back to back shows. I'm already tired. And he's like, this is gonna be my fourth show.
Yep.
Don't you guys get tired of him or no?
Well, I don't know. It's hopefully yes, and then I'll go away.
No. Well, don't pull a Discord and leave, okay?
No, I won't. No.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jesse? The thing is, the 2-year-old's so enticing because it's exciting. Those 2-year-olds are exciting to bet, but they're tough, man. They're tough. Halterman called it perfectly on the Hawthorne show. When we were watching the Schuylerville, he's like, well, do you either see a favorite win and it's impressive, or someone completely out of the 44-1 or whatever it was. So
yeah, it's
just that's how it goes. But yeah, we're here. We'll get into the racing. I wanted to say we're opening day Saratoga. Does it feel different for you at all with the fact that Saratoga's already happened, I guess, sort of we were there, with the Belmont being there? Does it feel different at all for you?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Ricky about this the other day. It's it does, in a way. Yeah, it does kind of feel a little bit different because this is the opening day, of course, was today, but it's it does it throws you off a little bit because we were there 6 weeks ago, so it is kind of strange. So yeah, I mean, I do think so, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to separate the two. That was then, this is now. And this is the real, 40 days started today.
Yeah. Kind of thought about it too, because it kind of, part of it feels like it should be, like we were there for, say, the Jim Dandy or something. And now, you know what I mean? So the fact that we've already been there, and then when it kind of snuck up on me, honestly, because we were there and they're like, oh shit, Saratoga's this week,
Yeah.
It's back. But honestly, you get to a race like the Diana and that's oh yeah, no, it's back. Now this is the summer racing. That was Belmont, which was great, but now we're here. So, it's Belmont did scratch the itch, but the itch came back. That's a great way to put it, Jason. The itch, it itches harder in the summer, though. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it does. That's a good way to put it. The Belmont felt like we stole a weekend up there, right? Even though you're very busy during a Triple Crown weekend, it did feel like, we stole a Saratoga weekend, So, but now the historic weekends are back, like the Diana and the Jim Dandy and the Coaching Club and Travers, Whitney, all that. It's back. It's my weekends from now until this is over. It's named after the big races that are happening at Saratoga that weekend.
So I'm curious, with Saratoga back, is putting you on the spot? Because as I was thinking of it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta have an answer too, and I'm not coming up with one at the moment. But what is with Saratoga starting today? What's your favorite Saratoga moment? Not total, but being there. Favorite Saratoga day that we were there.
As far as a day goes, the whole day. The Travers Day in 2022 when Essential Quality won and Life is Good and Jackie's Warrior ran against each other. Trying to think of some other. There were just it seems like that was a race where that one horse tried to bite the other horse. I can't even remember the names now. But yeah, it was that one. I think that was the best day.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of which one. Dude, was that day when he tried to bite?
Yep.
That was.
I literally cannot think of the horse that tried to do it now.
Oh, it was yeah. Hang on. I'll know if you said it. I would.
Always
tell
ran well up there. Can't remember. Gosh. Yeah, Yalpin won the race. But Yalpin won, but he wasn't the one that tried to bite the whole way. Hold on, I'll look it up. Yeah,
Friends of Fire.
Friends of Fire. You got it. Yep,
that was it. Thank you.
Yep.
I knew I knew if I heard it, I would know it. I was thinking it was like 2 words, but I couldn't think of what it was. I'm trying to think of what mine would be. Because man, there's been so many fun. I mean, like I honestly don't think it's the Travers Day, even though Travers Days are amazing, just because they're so hectic and insane. And honestly, it wouldn't be last year because last year's were kind of insane.
Yeah.
With what happened. Man, I'm trying to think of it was one of the Whitney days. It was what year was it that
the Knicks go Whitney maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good day. Yeah.
Yep. That was it.
I got one. The Life is Good Whitney Day was probably actually my favorite ever because that was the day I hit that $10,000 or I think it was $10,000 or $9,000 pick 5. And there were 3 or 4 people there that played it. And Jason Hummel was one of them. And they kept buying me drinks all day. And I got like tanked. I mean, tanked. Drunkest I've ever been at Saratoga. And then Life is Good won it like downpoured rain. That was probably the best day. Now that I think about it.
That was, I don't even know. I don't think I was there for that one. Was I?
No, that was the year I stayed up there the whole meet almost up at Plattsburgh. Yeah.
Yep.
That was such a fun day. I spilt like blue drink all over my white shirt and Brittany Blonde, Vinny's wife, like got like club soda and got it all out somehow. I was like, wow, you're the greatest to ever live. And that's when we became really good friends that day. So what a day. That was a great day. Yes.
Yeah. The Knicks go 2021 Whitney Day.
Yep. That was
let me pull up that whole day because I'm sure it was insane. But
I think, was Paul there that day? Maybe like it seems like we had 6 or 7 people there that day.
I just remember, I'll never forget. We were standing up over like past the wire, like past the like right on the rail, and it was all a thing like can Knicks go, how like what will happen with Swiss Skydiver and him. And remember, they got to that first turn and Knicks Go just put her away. Like and I said, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Like they're absolutely not getting to him at that point. And you could, because I remember we were looking at that light pole from out, like we were before the race. We're like, listen, at that point, if he's in the lead, it's over.
Yeah.
And not only was he in the lead, he was in the lead by a margin. And you're like, oh, cool. Wow. Yeah, this is way over.
Yeah, that was amazing. I'm pretty sure Paul was there because we were standing there and we all looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like he's back. He's like all the way back. Because you remember he ran in the Met Mile and sucked. And then he ran in the Cornhusker and was amazing. But everybody was like, well, whatever. And then he went up there and it's like, oh shit, he's way back. And he never, he just kept winning that whole year.
Let's see, 2021. I'm sure I want to see the whole.
Maxfield was in that race.
Yep.
The horse you mentioned, I can't think of the other ones. It was only 5.
It was Swiss Skydiver was in there.
Yeah, and then there's 2 other ones. The Asmussen horse that had won a bunch in a row. I can't think of his name now, off the top of my head. But he had won the Met Mile. This Asmussen horse.
Here, hang on, I'm pulling it up.
I can't remember now, but
you had. What was the last race?
Yeah, Silver State by my standards, exactly. Yeah, Silver State was the one for Asmussen that had won all his races.
Had won a bunch of races, yeah.
Yep.
But before that, you had let's see. Well, the Manhattan or the Saratoga Derby. That was that year. They did it the same day. State of Rest won.
Yep.
Belle Sophia won that day.
Yep.
Beat Search Results. Then you had Warlike Goddess when she was Warlike Goddess like that won the Glens Falls.
Yep.
Let's see who else. Flavius won that day. Man, just going through some of the winners. Stellar Tap. Stellar Tap Day.
Yeah, Stellar Tap. We did was that I'm pretty sure that was the day we did the seminar thing over there too at
It was
the
because I
Trackside
gave away
Grill.
that horse that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
One-
And that was Stellar Tap was the
Yep.
one that put Asmussen over the top too.
Yep.
For
Yep.
number of wins. So that was a great day.
That was just a solid. Like I think honestly why it was such a fun that the whole day from a start to finish, from going doing that seminar, and then having obviously being right helps, right? And your picks come in, and so everyone to think about it, because it's like, man, it's hard to come up with one because they're so good. They're all good. Like there's not. It's last year was the only times I've been where like you left not really feeling like it was a great day, just because of the breakdowns. But past that, I mean, it's hard to go to Saratoga and not have a good time.
Yep, absolutely. It was.
Well, Ricky,
it was
of course,
awesome.
Ricky was there. He's always, if we're there, Ricky's there.
Yeah, Borat may have been there too. Who knows?
Wow. Yeah, Epicenter. That was a good. I thought about that one too. Epicenter winning. That was good.
Oh, that was fun. Because that was the year Ain't Life Grand was in it as well.
Yep.
So Epicenter was fun. Yeah, that was a really fun Travers day for sure. Yeah, it was good. I've never had a bad one. You're right though. They've always been fun.
The time with Evil Steve, you weren't there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it wasn't at that one, but that sounded like fun.
But the funny part about that is I can't even remember who ran that day. That's why it was so fun. I was at a patio at the Paddock Bar the whole time.
Yeah.
making evil buy drinks. So it's perfect. All right, let's get the meet started now for this year. Let's see if we can pick some winners to kick off this weekend. Let's go. Saturday, $500,000 Diana Stakes at Saratoga. Then we're going to get some rapid fire selections for the remaining stakes races this weekend at Saratoga. Let's go.
The funniest thing about that Life is Good day, some guy came up to me and he said he used to live in Joplin or Springfield or somewhere close to where we live. And we talked for like 30 minutes and I don't remember anything he said other than that. And I've never seen him again, but I just wonder what I told that guy, or wonder what I said. Was I just quiet? Like, I just wonder what that guy thought of me that day. Cause I wanted to talk to him, but I was not in the right frame of mind to have a good conversation. I always wonder how that went.
It's like, what did I actually tell him? Did he?
I remember he was in a suit. So like, he looked like, he's probably an important guy or whatever. And I remember like, he was super nice, but I always kind of wonder what I actually told him,
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
There's a lot of conversations I've had at Saratoga, especially with you, where I'm like, I don't know that I'll remember what exactly, or you especially, if you'll remember any of this later in the afternoon or not. But you know what? Last time, like the worst days were like the Belmont, because it was almost too busy, where we had to stop drinking.
That's true. The Belmont Friday was not that way, but Saturday was for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I barely remember that. Yeah. That was such a funny day.
Oh boy.
I think Heather beat us all though Friday of this year. That was classic. So
yeah, Friday was, but
yeah.
Saturday was like, it got to a point where you couldn't even, you had to stop because it took too long to get a drink and took too long to take a piss. And then it was just like, you're missing races. And so you just had to hunker down and wait till later. So
Saturday was all business this year. Yeah.
Right. That's right, Kevin. Welcome, Kevin.
Yeah.
The best Miller Lite. The last free day too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's go to Saratoga on Saturday. This is race number 10. the Diana Stakes, Grade 1, $500,000 going a mile and eighth on the inner turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. You got a field of 10 haltermen, and it is a hell of a field. I mean, really, past a couple of them, maybe. They're all in here with a shot. You got 7-2 on Didia. You got White Beam at 4-1. You got 9-2 on Chili Flag. You got a horse like Mission of Joy at 10-1, who I thought ran really well last time out. Copus for Chad Brown at 8-1. Moya at 5-1. I mean, Fluffy Socks, maybe he can get it done at a big price. Chad Brown's got a bunch in here. I mean, when you saw this field, what were your thoughts?
Oh, excitement was the big thought. And I know Chad Brown has 5 in the race, but he may not win it. There's competition for him. That's the good thing. He had 4 or 5 in the race, one of the races on Belmont Day, or Belmont weekend, I should say, in just a game. And it's like, well, he's going to win. It sucks. This time, yeah, he has 5, but the other 5 in the race are good and could beat him. And so it makes for a very competitive situation. I went back and forth on this one a lot. At different points in times, I had different horses on top, but I kept going back to number 4, Didia. I love this horse. I think she's excellent. I love her running style. I love who she's beaten this year. At this distance at a mile and an eighth, I think she's going to be very good. I think Didia is the horse to beat. I think it's a very tough race. Will not be surprised if she loses, but my money's going to go on number 4, Didia.
I'll tell you what, that the same day as well, right? As that's the just a game with a bunch of these horses. That's what's kind of cool. A bunch of these horses ran on the same day.
Yep.
But Didia, man, she was great in the New York. I mean, she was so impressive that day. I thought, Warlike Goddess, like she got third. Warlike Goddess came back and ran last weekend and looked okay, right?
Yep.
And she just demolished her. And then you got Nisi Marie in here also in here that she beat. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those races. She's 2 for 2 at the distance. She's 1 for 1 at Saratoga, which was that last race. But yeah, sucks Didia is not. I saw that comment earlier this morning. So your response was great. But I'm gonna try to beat her. Actually, and maybe it's dumb because she didn't even win last time out, but I just kind of feel like we're about to see White Beam kind of evolve this race. Like third off the layoff here, which was her best race kind of historically of her career, was her third off last year at Saratoga in what race? This race. And so I think that we might be seeing the buildup here of maybe a big time performance. I thought she ran really well in the Just a Game. Chili Flag ran just better. But you know what? She ran a really brave race. Chili Flag for me is I didn't think she was like, I was surprised I guess I shouldn't say I was surprised she won last time. I just didn't think she was going to win last time. And so have you decided what you think of Chili Flag? Like, I know you won't be surprised if she wins here, but at the same time, do you think she is like this class of horse?
Yeah, with Chili Flag, I kind of felt like I had a really good read on her. I was getting her right a lot. And then she jumped up and won at Churchill, and that was surprising. Had her on a ticket, but was surprised. And then last time out, I didn't think she'd win again or was a likely winner, and she did. Again, threw her on a ticket because it's, quote unquote, other Chad Brown. But when you really look at it, it's like, I don't know that she's good enough to win a grade 1, and she did it. So you kind of have to give her credit. She's definitely better than I thought she was. But now we're stretching out back in distance to a mile and an eighth. I think that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for her. And, when is the bubble burst, or has she just kind of developed into this kind of horse? I think that's the big question that's going to start to get answered over the next race or two. So listen, I'm scared of Chili Flag. There's no doubt. I'm scared of White Beam as well. I think both those Chad Brown horses, the 6 and the 10, I think they're the 2 out of his barn that you want in this race. I can make cases for both. They were half length away last time. Does a stretch out in distance favor White Beam over Chili Flag? Maybe. We kind of seen a mile and an eighth, like you said, in the Diana last year, where White Beam was able to get it done. So maybe getting back to that distance is going to help. The bad news with White Beam, we have no wins since that Diana. So we've been a year now with no wins, but boy, she's been close.
That's just it. That's kind of why I'm going back to her one more time here, because I feel like if it's going to happen, it's going to be here. She just seems like she's knocking on the door each and every time. And really, other than Last year, the end of last year, I should say, she like every race. I mean, these last 2 races were just too good to lose, honestly. And I think now we're stretching to that mile and eighth race at Saratoga, which she's obviously ran very well at both starts. Is going to be enough, at least for me, to kind of gear towards that. And listen, with Chili Flag, like if we want to, she's going to have to, like, she could win, no doubt. But to me, it's like you look at like the last 3 races were all on the mile. Now we're going to mile and eighth, but really the last time that she was going anywhere longer than a mile, she looked, other than really than a one allowance race, she just looked very good, but not like she had been looking. You know what I mean? So, and in fact, one of them was Pegasus, where guess who beat her? Didia, and beat her well. So it kind of feels like Chili Flag is now stepping into the, into the main event, so to speak. And now she's going to have to see what, if she's good enough to hold off all these other ones. So it would be a feat for Didia to win this thing when you have so many Chad Browns in the race. It's because they're all going to be working together as far as the jockeys go to kind of get the best trips out of each and one of them. But Didia, man, like that last race, I'll tell you what, I know you've liked her for a while, but for me, that last race was like, oh damn, like this is she's for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of think about some of these races that she's won since she came over here. And Anna Sett, remember Anna Sett out at Santa Anita was on that great run and then went up October 7th of last year against Didia, and Didia beat her. I mean, that just showed you, Anna Sett as well as I do because we play that horse a lot. That horse looked great, and Didia went out there and kind of smoked her. And that was just kind of one of those signs. It's like, yeah, this is a really good horse. She only lost 3/4 of a length in this race, or in the New York, I should say, last year race. She won this year, but last year only lost the market segmentation by 3/4. So, and was a clear second. So, I mean, even when she loses, she's behind horses that are pretty good. The Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, it wasn't her day. There's no doubt. But other than that, she has been really, really damn good. And the other thing I really like about her, I have this vision of White Beam maybe getting a good trip out there by herself. What Didia can do is sit close enough to not let that happen, right? She's not a come from way out of it. So you mentioned it in the Chad Brown horses. They're probably going to do funny things in here to try to set it up. She's kind of immune to that in some ways because she can win on the lead. She can win stalking. She can win, being 5-6 out of it. She'll kind of do what they ask her to do. That's always the toughest type of horse to beat. They'll kind of just do what the jockey tells her.
Yeah, that is the one that is the most concerning. Like a lot of these, are geared one way or another. Like, okay, like if you do this, you can take her out of her element. Didia is very versatile. She's shown that in the past, and not only that, she's just like she's running better she's 6 years old now. She's running better than she's ever ran. She looks like a better horse than she's ever ran. And so they're going to have with White Beam, you're going to have to know that this horse, especially being drawn to the outside or drawn to the inside of White Beam, that she's going to have an impact, right? Early on in White Beam's race. A few other horses that I think we should talk about, just like, okay, one is Moira. This is an interesting horse, right? Because last time we saw her, she finished a really good third to Inspiral and Warm Heart in the Breeders' Cup. Now, mile and a quarter race that day. She's ran well. She won the Canadian in a mile and eighth, 3-back Woodbine horse. She definitely ran huge that day, no doubt about it. But listen, she is a nice horse. Being the first one off the layoff is concerning. It's been a long layoff. Any thoughts on her?
Yeah, scared to death of her. I kind of went into this thinking next time out could be the spot where we really see her, because first off the layoff and against this type of field. So it goes hand in hand. It's a tough ask. But look, if Inspiral is in this race, she'd be the favorite. If Warm Heart was in this race, she'd be the favorite. She only lost to those horses by a length and a quarter. So if she runs back to the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, doesn't she win? Or at least have a very good chance of winning? Yes, in my opinion.
If she runs that race, she is going to be she'll be right there at the photo for sure. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. So the concern is, we haven't seen her since the Breeders' Cup, right? And that was a long time ago. And, the last time she had a long layoff like that, she didn't win, right? And it was definitely way less of a race than this one. So we'll see. I'm the same way. I think if anybody in the race, I fear her the most as far as if you're going to take a stand against the two Copus. I mean, a horse. I mean, do you think she just needed that race? Do you just think she maybe isn't quite to this caliber?
Yeah, I'll be mad if this horse wins. Talking about Copus, I just think it really didn't have any excuse either time. And now it's like, when are we going to see this horse at her absolute best? Have we already seen her at her absolute best? Will the stretch out help? She's never been
Yeah.
this far, but maybe it'll help. I'll be mad if the horse wins, but I won't be shocked if the horse wins. I've liked her, last time out, I liked her a lot. And 2 races back, I liked her a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if the thing is, if you are against Chili Flag in any regard, I mean, it's hard to say you do like this one, because Chili Flag has beaten her both starts of her career in the United States. No, this Mission of Joy is the horse that I thought ran. I mean, kind of a horse that seemed like she was tailing off, after being so good early in her career. But that last race in the Just a Game, I mean, she came flying there with Chili Flag. Chili Flag just had a bigger kick than she did. But, I mean, she ran a nice race at 13-1.
Oh, I definitely agree. And I was talking with my dad yesterday. We were going over the races on our show, and he really liked this 3 as well. And I said, I totally get it. And I said, look, at the end of the day, she ran a much improved race last time out. She looks like she is getting back to that top form.
Yeah.
I don't think the top form is good enough to win. I think it's good enough to hit the board. And I just pointed to races where she's faced like the top level. She's around. She can't get up to actually win the race. And that's been the kind of the problem with her, but she's there with a shot, right? She only got beat 2 lengths by Didia 3 races back. You mentioned the race last time, only losing a half length, the Chili Flag and White Beam. Look at the QE2 Cup at Keeneland back in 2023. Got beat to Maj and Lindy. Maj almost won the Breeders' Cup, Mile. So, yeah. I mean, I can't sit here and say she's without a shot. All I can really say is I don't know that she'll be able to be at that final jump and actually win the race.
I mean, she's a very frustrating horse because we both have liked her for most of her career, and she's a frustrating one because even when you feel like she's running this, this kind of race, one, I think it's going to take a career high race for her to win this thing, and 2, it's like, I just don't know that she's capable of doing it, but she might be a huge factor in your tries. I'd say definitely would include her underneath because she seems to be running better than she has in a while. Let's look at some of the also Chad Browns. Unless you have something to add to Gino Romantica, not a huge fan of her really, but she ran well to the end of her career last year. You got a big number in the First Lady out at Keeneland, and then one at Santa Anita, the Breeders' Cup. Again, Master of the Seas, Maj, you mentioned Costa Creed, and then of course this one has not come back very good.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. There has some big wins over tough horses on her past performances, beating McCulloch, beating in Italian, like huge wins, running competitively in the Breeders' Cup, like you mentioned. But this year just hasn't come back and been very good. It is third off the layoff. Maybe that is going to be the thing. We're stretching back out to 1 1/8 today. She does have a win at this distance. It came way back in 2022, but I mean, maybe those are factors. I couldn't get her on a ticket because you just can't play them all. But another one, I'm not going to be shocked if this horse wins.
Will you be shocked if Fluffy Socks wins?
That one would really, really piss me off.
Won by 7 lengths last time out, but that was in the Galleret, a grade 3. Last time she was in grade 1 with Jenny Wiley, she was not good. And really, she's not been very good in a while.
No. And I mean, she's had so many races against horses this caliber.
I can't bet her anymore. I'm done betting her.
No,
I can't.
So it's hard. It's hard to support her. Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts on this one is interesting. The 8, Nisi Marie, a horse that's just gets no respect. She get no respect. Listen, New York, she's 25-1. She damn near beats Didier. She ran a really good second, anyways. In the BA, she was 7, almost 8-1, won that race. Throw out the one on the dirt, but second race, second, first. I mean, she runs her race pretty much every time. I mean, do you think at 12-1 she's interesting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you like White Beam, well, this horse beat White Beam 2 back. If you like Didia, well, this horse ran second, only beating a length and a half last time out. I mean, I've seen multiple people say, boy, this 8's a sleeper. No question. There's no question about it. I mean, this 8 is super good, and it's just another horse in a really tough race where it's like, yeah, if the 8 wins, I'm not going to be shocked. But again, you got to make tough decisions in a race like this. And you got to start to eliminate horses that you really kind of like, but you got to go with who you like more. And unfortunately, I just like the 4 a little bit more than the 8. But Nisi Marie, she's come back and ran 2 super races this season.
And finally, to round it out, any thoughts on Evie Jets? Finished 4th last time out in that just a game behind Chili Flag, White Beam, and Mission of Joy. One thing about her is you've got a lot of comparisons, right? Because she's faced a lot of horses in this race. She just seems to be, cut below most of these horses.
She kind of wins when you least expect her to. The Boston Spa last year at 29-1 took him gate to wire, beat old Fluffy Socks, of course.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, again, if you like Chili Flag, you like White Beam, you like Mission of Joy, this horse lost by 3/4 of length to those 3. So, I mean, she's there with a chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but again, a broken record here. I would not be completely shocked if this 9 puts a scare in some of these horses when they turn for home.
She has been known, like you said, to do that, and certainly on the lead can get scary at Saratoga on the turf. But all right, let's hone her in here. One question I saw pop in, and I think it's a good question because, and I don't know where it went, so I'll just ask it. Here, Ron wants to know how the pace will set up because there is a lot of speed in the race, looks like, or at least horses that like to be forwardly placed. How do you think this pace is going to set up? And do you think, the aforementioned Didia is going to be the best kind of benefactor of it?
Well, the 9's going to go. And then after that, it's which Chad Brown horse are they going to send? I think the 6 will probably go to the lead with the 9. After that, it's a guess. And I think how the pace sets up is going to depend on how fast those 2 jockeys decide to go. And at the end of the day, that's why I kept circling back to Didia, because I don't think the pace really matters for her. Whereas Chili Flag, I think she better have a hot pace or she's going to have trouble getting there, right? And with Didia, I think if the pace is hot, she can sit back off of it a little further. And if the pace is soft, she'll be up a little bit closer to him and get that first run where Chili Flag's going to be coming from the back and others will be coming from the back. So long story short, it's a guess on what the Brown horses are going to do and what happens to the pace. We know for sure the 9's going. After that, take your pick of the Browns and we'll see what happens.
It's such an interesting race from that standpoint as well, because you don't have a ton of early speed, but you have quality early speed horses in there with Evie Jets and White Beam being horses. Even Didia, who maybe won't be on the lead, but she can be close to it. And then you've got a handful of horses that will want to come off the pace. And will they be able to hold, right? Will White Beam be able to hold? Will Didia get the first crack at them and hold off the next wave of them? It's going to be a wild and very interesting kind of the way the race unfolds, especially like when they turn for home, because you got to feel like there's a wall of horses when you look at the past performances that are going to hope for a pace, some sort of pace meltdown, and need that pot pace to kind of kick on.
Yeah, you're right. And it's going to get interesting down the stretch. And, I think the biggest thing you got to kind of remember in this race, depending on what you do in the other races will kind of decide how deep you can go here. So if you don't want to, go deep in some of those other races, this is one where you could do it. And if you're going to use 2 or 3, you might as well go and use 4, 5, or 6 horses in this one and really spread out. Because to me, like if Didia or Chili Flag, if they don't win it becomes extremely wide open and you want to catch one of those prices. So I think with this race, within a very tough sequence, you just have to make that decision. Am I going to go short and try to rely on those 2 horses that have been winning? these big races, or am I going to kind of get a little bit cute and hope to try to get a Gina Romantica or a Nisi Marie home?
All right, let's hear it. Hone in the pig. Who is it?
Yeah, I went number 4, Didia on top. I think she makes the most sense at this distance, and I think again, it doesn't really matter how the pace sets up. She's tactical enough and she's patient enough to kind of be in that perfect spot. So I picked number 4, Didia on top.
Give me the number 6, White Beam. I feel like the horse has just been on the cusp of one of these big wins, and just the way this horse is finally getting the stretch out, and the way Chad has kind of got the horse to this race, to me tells me that this horse is about to fire her best effort. We'll see if it's good enough to hold off Didia, who obviously is just going to be a force, not just in this race, but you would think the rest of the year. But give me the 6, White Beam, to take down the Diana for the second year in a row. It's I tell you what, if you get the race home is great, but if you're playing exacta or trifecta, I mean, if you can get this home, like, props.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough
because it's got the makings of like a Breeders' Cup type of race where it's like, yeah, well, they ran well, but they finished 5th. It's like,
well, yeah, I mean, that's just it. I could see any number of whoever you guys pick in this race, whether it's Didia or somebody else. At the end of the day, I don't think you're going to leave Saratoga or leave your living room. I guess you're betting at home and go, she didn't run well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably going to run well, and it's going to be, are they good enough, or did somebody go get them?
Yeah. Well, and I think because of a lot of this chatter with Didia, and I think deservedly she will go off with the favorite, but with White Beam getting beat by Chili Flag, I if you're taking those two, I would rather play White Beam than Chili Flag, and so I think the price is going to be there to play White Beam.
Yeah, I don't know why Chili Flag isn't the second choice in this one over White Beam.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I know I can see why Didia is the favorite, because she's been winning races at similar distances to this at the higher, highest levels. And Chili Flag's been winning at a mile. But at the same time, I still think Chili Flag will go off a little bit shorter than White Beam. Could be wrong, but I think Chili Flag's the second choice in this one.
Kind of feels like they're like, no one believes, or at least the morning line maker didn't quite or doesn't assume people believe in Chili Flag.
Yeah.
Or like now they're stepping up in company, but I think it will be. Didia is the only one out of the group that I feel pretty confident will be the favorite and will be bet.
Yeah, I agree with that. And after that, it could be a scramble. We're also forgetting about the 1. People are going to see that number on the 1, and play her as well.
The 1, I will not be leaving the 1 off, if anything, on top. Because I think the 1 has that Breeders' Cup race was impressive.
It was.
Really, if she just had 1 race under her belt between now and then, I might pick her. But
yeah, it's somebody. I saw a comment earlier, and I kind of agreed with. She does kind of seem like a horse that needs a couple.
Yeah,
and that was my downfall with her. But she also ran a race better than anything she had ever done in that last spot.
Well, again, I think everyone needs to remember this race. It's gonna be a tough one. Like you could be Chili Flag could run insanely well and lose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's really, really tough and interesting. That's why it's Saratoga.
Yeah.
A lot of good horses, a lot of good ones that should. And obviously a lot of them are already in the Breeders' Cup, but you would assume we'll see them again as well. All right, we'll do just 3 here. We'll stay at Saratoga. Time for Rapid Fire, presented by TwinSpires.com. Head on over to TwinSpires and enter promo code DUDES. That's DUDS, and then get up to $200 bonus whenever you sign up. We'll match it up to 100% or 100% match up to $200 on your first deposit. That's promo code DUDES, DUDS, at twinspires.com. All right, let's go earlier on the card on Saturday. And this is race 2. They got the Kelso running race 2, which is also on the inner turf. So we'll get at least some sort of play on that inner turf prior to the Diana. But $175,000, grade 3 Kelso, 1 mile on the inner turf for 4-year-olds and up. You got a field of 5 with one also eligible as well. But man, you and I were talking about this before the race or before the blinkers off. I mean, really, man, this is tough because you just take a pick. Mysterious Night for Appleby, Pratt aboard is your 8-5 morning line favorite, but you also have Talk of the Nation at 2-1 and Carl Spackler at 2-1. Not to mention Northern Invader at 5-1. Call Me Harry is 15-1. But give me your pick.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, this race is so hard; it's unbelievable. I went. This is probably a dumb pick. I went number 4, Talk of the Nation. It's a short field. I think Talk of the Nation can get the lead, and maybe we can hold on this time. I thought the race 2 back was just barely, like, almost got there. The race last time out, same kind of thing, just barely a loss. Ride him out of the gate, get the lead. Maybe take him gate to wire. I took the 4. I have trouble too with this one because I don't really know where the money's going to go. So if you get there and you're 1 or 2 minutes to post and the 4 is below 2-1, then I wouldn't do it. But I think out of Mysterious Night, Talk of the Nation, Carl Spackler, I think Talk of the Nation is going to float up a little bit. I think it's a total toss up. So give me the one that's a little bit of a bigger price out of those 3.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with the 4.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Mysterious Night is going to be bet pretty hard, I think
so.
This is a horse for Appleby, on the debut of the United States debut, did finish second to Ice Chocolate, but this horse it was behind horses, had trouble, then came flying late, just ran out of room. That was at a mile that day, going back to a mile here. But dude, Pratt now aboard, not to say Buick isn't awesome because he is, but Pratt aboard. Appleby and Pratt are at 80% teaming up so far this year. Now it's only 5 starts, but that means they've lost 1 time.
Yep.
Basically, it's 1 time. So, I mean, these guys have been on fire when teaming up together. So, yeah, like I just think the way this, and on top of that, it's like, well, you have a few of these horses like Talk of the Nation. That's he beat him last time out. Same with Carl Spackler. Carl Spackler got beat beat Talk of the Nation, and then Mysterious Night beat Talk of the Nation. So to me, it's like I think Mysterious Night is the one to play here. But wouldn't be surprised, I guess, because you have some nice horses in here. But give me the 2. Mysterious Night for Appleby to win here. Yeah, the 2 should take a ton of money, Kevin.
I think the 2 and 5 both take the money, and I think Talk of the Nation is like 4-1 or something. And I think give me a shot at it because, listen, I would not be shocked at all if Mysterious Night wins, but I don't know. Like, you let Ice Chocolate beat you, like the last time other than that, like at Saratoga for the Hall of Fame wasn't really a no-show. Like I'm not in love with that too. So I think at a short price, I'm just not sure.
All right, let's go now later in the card, the race after the Diana. This is race 11, the Sanford Stakes. Grade 3 going 170 or for 175K, going 6 furlongs for 2-year-olds. We just saw the 2-year-old for the fillies today, and it was insane. The price was 44-1 on a long shot. So now we got a field of 8 here lined up, Halterman, and you got Minty at 6-5, the full brother. Fierceness now at 6-5. Won last time out, but it was close, and it probably shouldn't have been close, but it was. 3 Echoes at 4-1, 7-2 on Studley Do-Ride, who just continues to impress. Moplex at 6-1. Who you like?
Yeah, I took Minty. I'm like lukewarm on Minty, but I did think that the race last time out, from a speed figure standpoint, ended up being really good. He went really fast early in that race. Draws the rail here, break, get the lead, try to take him gate to wire again. I think he's going to be able to do it. So I took the 1 Minty on top. I also think the 8 Moplex is extremely interesting in this spot. I think 1-8 can get you through.
Yeah, I really wanted to pull the trigger on the 8. Really, the only question mark, I mean, the horse won by 10 last time out, just demolished the field. But the number came back really slow. When you look at the comparisons, like ran 22 and 45, that day Minty ran 22 and 44. I mean, just a full was 56 seconds versus 58. Like this was a much faster horse. The one was now, like you said, the horse, combination of the horse coming to get him, hit a wall. Like now we're stretching out a little bit longer from the 5 to the 6, but from a talent perspective, kind of feels like the one is just a little bit better than everybody else in here. So I'm with you. I don't know. You might depend on. I haven't looked at the whole sequence completely, but with the Diana being so tough, you might have to go thin here. You might have to take the 1 and like you said, maybe the 8 if you're feeling lucky, depending on the rest of it. But I don't know. You can take much more than that.
It just depends on what you do with the Diana and what you do with some of those other races. All 5 of these races are tough. You got to go short and hope you're right in the right one. I don't really want to put all my eggs in the 2-year-old basket, so to speak, especially after what we saw all year last year up here. A horse named Yo-Yo Candy won this race last year at like 48-1, I think it was. So, I'm going to go 3 or 4 deep, I think, in this spot. I like Minty, but I don't fully trust that horse.
Couple different thoughts on this race. One, I think it's interesting, like Jason says, that IRAD is not running on Minty. Do you take any? Okay, so Minty, John Velasquez rode Minty last time out, and IRAD rode Moplex last time out. Is that it? Is that all there is to it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think you're going to change, jockeys after a win. I don't really know why IRAD wasn't aboard this horse. That's, it would be a question for Todd. The one thing I'll say about IRAD, he's rode 7 times in the last year for Jeremiah Englehart. 5 of them have won, 6 of them have hit the board. So that's pretty good. And that shows you the 8's a pretty damn good horse, or IRAD wouldn't be messing around with it. So I don't think it's a negative that IRAD isn't on the 1 because he wasn't on the 1 on debut, but I do think it's a positive that he's on the 8.
Yeah, there's also an opportunity here. I think, I don't know if Kevin's referring to that, but the 6-1, the 6 is interesting in the race. And if you like that aspect of because I love playing a horse that okay, I think this horse is going to go to the lead, but might get tired. And this horse likes to come from behind and it could catch him. The 6-1 exacta in this race seems really interesting because you kind of have the writing on the wall if you believe in the 6.
I think he might have been referring to the 6-1 price on the 8. Okay, but if you do want to talk about the 6, kind of been disrespected both races and have come from the clouds and won both times. And you're right. Like if the 1's on the lead, the 6 could come get him. It's not the worst.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of I love that angle. And I just as far as when you have a speed horse that you think is somewhat vulnerable, and then you have a horse that you like, they could close. There's a nice straight exacta potential.
Yep.
A lot of times that I like to play, but
agree.
I am going to take the 1 Minty with you. And I guess we'll just, when they hit the top of the stretch, we will hope and pray that the horse can hold on and isn't quite like his brother half the time. So
right.
All right, let's go over to when I told Halterman when we were talking about it earlier, I was like, it's full brother of fierceness, and he's like, yeah, hopefully he's not as dumb as his brother, we'll see. All right, let's go to Sunday for the quick call. This is race number 9 at Saratoga, $175,000 grade 3 race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds, field of 9 here, Halterman. And you got, another Appleby, another Pratt, 4 to 5, Star of Mystery. I was on this horse last time out and she got smoked, but for good reason. Now she's in here with the boys again. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on her this time. I think coming out of that race with Cogburn coming into this, it's quite a difference. And by the way, she was actually entered to run Friday, and they're going to scratch her and run her in this quick call. And the Friday race is a much easier spot. So that shows you the confidence that they've got in her here. I think if all she has to do, quote unquote, all she has to do is run that race last time out and she wins. I think she's better than these other horses. That was the day Cogburn set the North American record for 5.5 furlongs. And this horse was just a neck out of second, got beat by a neck to Arzak. So I really think Star of Mystery is going to be super, super tough in this race. I think she could win by multiple lengths here.
Yeah, and Christopher mentioned it. I'm with you. I love her here. as well. I mean, by a poll, I mean, we'll see, but it's not a great field. And honestly, as a backer of her that day in the Jaipur, obviously I quickly knew we were seeing something special with Cogburn. So you knew you weren't going to win it. But, for again, facing, she's a filly facing Colts. She's a quality horse and she ran a nice race. You could just tell like we're not getting there. It's not going to happen today. But ran a 98 buyer on her debut. Again, not to mention Appleby, Pratt. Pratt was aboard that day. So give me Star of Mystery. Definitely like her the most out of the Appleby horses that we just talked about. So
Yep.
what does Isaac wants to know? What does Star of Mystery go off at? 4 to 5 on the morning line. Again, not a lot of, 9 to 2 on Fandom. There's really, other than the 7 to 5 also eligible, there's not 6 to 5. I guess the other one, there's not much in here that's going to take money.
Yeah, I think because it's Saratoga, you might get the morning line price, but you're not going to get much better. So it's probably a situation where you're going to have to put her on top of an exacta or a try, or single in a pick 4, pick 5. That's how you're going to make money on her. But yeah, like I say, sometimes at Saratoga, horses do go off a little bit higher than they would other places because of, it's Saratoga and there's a lot of money in the pool and there are other betting interests here. There are 10 at least. So those kind of things, there's 9, I should say. Those kind of things will help. But at the end of the day, yeah, this horse is going to get pounded and probably should based on what we see on paper.
Which if she does roll, what does that say about Cogburn? Like how good?
Yeah,
it's only going to add more intrigue to that horse and that performance that day. But all right, yep, we are both on the 6 Star of Mystery on Sunday in the quick call. Yeah, I just because of this horse, and of course running that race, I was like, well, I have to go back and watch that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just it was insane.
Yeah. I would imagine horses are going to come out of that race and win. I would definitely think that's going to be a thing because a lot of horses that day, including Star of Mystery, they ran good enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Arzak finished second that day. Star of Mystery was third, but they're right there together.
Yep.
That was one of those though where it's pretty rare when you have a losing ticket and you're just like you're not even caring that you do because you're just like, wow, like that was impressive, like you're not even mad about it.
Yeah. It's funny because I had Cogburn to win, and what was weird is we were standing there and I was like, damn, they are going really fast up front and he's right on that pace. And he's usually not. And I thought, damn it, that's not going my way. And then they shook the reins up and he kind of rebroke again. And I was like, oh shit, like we're going to see something really, really special. And then little did I know it was going to be a North American record.
Really special. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. I've never seen. Well, I told you guys before I saw the final time. I said I've never seen a horse do that. Like that was the most impressive turf sprint I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
And that's because it was by the time.
Yeah. To give Halterman full credit, like he obviously we didn't, we're live and we could see the time, but you don't know off the top. It's fast, but you don't know that it's a record or anything. And Halterman just looked at us and was like, that was like one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
And like that was, you can just tell when a good horse is good. They run different.
He took. I'll never forget this. So this is a moment that just like will be burned in my memory forever because we were like where we were standing was right when they kind of asked that horse to get going a little bit, and he gave him he kind of tightened the rein a little bit, and you could visually where we were see that horse take that bit and take off again, and that's when I was like, oh shit, that horse ran so fast early, and he just took off again. So that was really something you just don't see very often.
I was so wowed by Asmussen's comments after the race, and you start thinking, you forget it. No, you don't forget it, but you forget that like all the like really fast horses he's had, over the years. Yeah. And he was just like in awe of. He's like, I've seen all these insanely fast horses in my barn. Matoli and Echo Zulu, and it's like I'd never seen that. Like that was insane.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of those horses that are really fast, they kind of burn everybody out, and then not that they're like loping to the wire, but they're starting to slow down a little bit or something like that. To watch a horse grab a hold of that bit again,
Yeah,
that was just, and you could, like I said, you could visually see it if you were at the right spot or you watched the replay back. It was like, holy shit. Like, and it's not like he was like viciously asking him. He just kind of gave him a little, okay, go. And then he took off. It was awesome.
21 flat, 50 or 43 flat,
Yeah.
54, and then finished it under 50 or 59 under a minute. I mean, just kept on going.
Yeah. And
Insane.
Heather was standing next to me, and she knew I had the 8. The 8 was Cogburn. She's like, well, what do you think? I was like, Jesus Christ, they just went 43. And I was like, that horse is never that close anyway. It's like, this is going to be a effing disaster, so it wasn't. So that's good.
It was not. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Check us out at racingnews.com, of course, for our free picks and our premium selections for the entire Saratoga meet. You can just click that Get Racing News Premium button at the menu at racingnews.com to learn more. You can also just go to the Saratoga free picks page, and you can get access to just that tracks picks, or you can get premium subscriptions off of that page. All that is there. So this is obviously a great time to be a subscriber, because next weekend we have the Haskell, and that is a Breeders' Cup race, and to have the betting Bible. So the betting Bible will be free for anybody that is a current subscriber. So you can subscribe for as low as $70 a month for all the premium picks. So you get all the premium picks for Saratoga, the whole meet, but you can also get any betting Bible that comes out. And we have a lot of them coming out over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you look for those coming at you as beginning probably Thursday of next week. So we're on Twitter at @Racing_Dudes, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can find all episodes of Blinkers Off by visiting our podcast page on the website, Apple Podcast. Go over to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and notification bell and subscribe so you get alerted when we go live. And we have a lot of lives coming at you. And speaking of lives, earlier in the day, I saw 2 Pick 5 well, I guess one was yesterday. Got Pick 5 previews galore. If you want to see comparisons of Samich and Halterman and Papa Dude, they did Pick 5 previews for Saturday, late Pick 5 previews, right, at Saratoga.
Yeah, Papa Dude really had a lot of strong opinions, which surprised me a little bit. He's usually kind of wishy-washy. He made us throw out Minty. We are not playing Minty on our combined ticket.
Oh, wow.
His theory on it is, hey, you have a 5-length lead going 5 furlongs and you win by a nose. You're not winning a stakes next out 6 furlongs. And I thought, I can't really sit there and argue with him. That's not bad. I mean, that's a good point. So yeah, there's good opinions there. Then of course, Samich and I as well today on Magic Mike. Good news for Magic Mike listeners. That'll be it for me, because Magic is allowed to talk about Saratoga again. So he will be back next week now that the FanDuel Saratoga thing is finally settled.
So that was really a thing for, like, he could not talk about it. He's afraid to talk about it. No,
they basically told him he can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was almost the end for him. Then just by default.
I pretty much told him as much. And he was like, oh, we'll do Del Mar. I was like, well, the problem is that's kind of stupid. You can't do Del Mar on Whitney weekend, and you can't do Del Mar on Travers weekend. And it's probably more Saratoga is going to get you more listeners, so he's very relieved that is settled.
Yeah, Kevin, we were talking about that earlier. The Haskell field does seem very fluid, as you would say. So we'll see.
You guys realize this weekend is good, and then it just goes insane until basically till Labor Day, because Haskell next weekend. Oh, it's Del Mar opening weekend. Oh yeah, the coaching club and maybe the best 3-year-old in the country riding all next weekend. Del Mar opening, the Haskell and Torpedo Anna all next weekend. That's amazing. Jim Dandy the next weekend, Whitney the next weekend, 4-Star Dave, Alabama, Travers, Pacific Classic. I mean, this is going to absolutely kick ass. And it starts now through Labor Day. every day is going to be awesome. And you're right. The Haskell, who knows who's actually going to be in it?
Well, I just went to pull up the probables as we stand here today. Dornock, Sees the Gray, Timberlake. That's funny.
Timberlake, really?
Tuscan Sky, Mindframe, and Fierceness, all probable. Possible C Streak. I did hear some stuff about C Streak maybe running there. So, but yeah, you're gonna have the 1-2 finishers of the Belmont probably in there. It sounds like Fierceness, the favorite of the Kentucky Derby, in there. Timberlake, everyone's favorite, right?
Hold
The
on.
Preakness winner Sees the Gray. I mean, shit, that's a hell of a Haskell field, though.
It's going to be, if we can just get a few of them, it's going to be a good Haskell. I gotta look at Timberlake here. That one really threw me off. I
thought they were cutting him back. That's what
let's see, workouts. Yeah, no, he's had a steady batch of works at Churchill.
I mean, it's not possible, at least on the side. It's probable for Timberlake. So
yeah, man, that's interesting. Okay, well, good luck to him, I guess.
Well, yeah.
I know that is a spot, and not in a million years I would have guessed for him. But
well, I mean, that's a tough field. And I guess the next question, I guess should have looked. You didn't even look. What's the Jim Dandy field look like?
Well, that's just it. Who will wait and go there? You know what will happen. I'm sure Sierra Leone is certainly one that's going to go back there. So
let's see. A lot of possibles in that one. The only probable is Batten Down.
That makes sense.
But also possible is Gould's Gold, Sees the Gray there as well. Speakeasy, Protective.
Speakeasy? Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on, I gotta look at that one.
That's a possible again. Mindframe and Sierra Leone. So I definitely would not be surprised to see one of whether it be Mindframe or Fierceness not in the Haskell and then end up in the. To me, why would you not run Mindframe and the Jim Dandy, right? Whoever you think is like, I feel like Mindframe needs to kind of get better, right? Needs to have time to get kind of, he's a lightly raced horse. I don't know. I just feel like the Jim Dandy would be the better spot.
I'd go the Haskell.
Well, it depends on who you think's who they think's better, who's doing better.
Who you fucking scared of in either one of them if you're Mindframe? That'd be my attitude with him. Like, go win a grade 1.
Well, if you're going to do that, you need to go to the Haskell because
unless
the Belmont.
Well, the other thing is, do you want to keep Mindframe and Fierceness separate, and then you make that decision?
So that was the thought, and then it came out a few weeks later. It was like, oh no, we're kind of pointing them both towards the Haskell. We're like, okay, all right, whatever.
Running them both
in there
is really weird.
If that's the case,
that's strange as hell. But
yeah,
to me, I think Mindframe's the horse. And I would just, if he's doing well out of the race, I'd put him in that grade 1 and go get that grade 1. Because I wouldn't be scared of anybody if I owned Mindframe.
I think the odds are better that Mindframe runs in the Haskell than it is that we see Fierceness run again this year. I mean, he'll keep being, or maybe I should say win. He might not win. Who knows?
I would put Fierceness in the Jim Dandy because I think the Jim Dandy will draw a smaller field, and I think that would be really good for him. Jim Dandy usually only has 5 or 6 in it. Of course, the Haskell kind of does too. So you kind of got to monitor that situation. But if you think the Jim Dandy is going to be pretty short, which I do, I think that makes sense for him because if he could catch a track that's favoring speed a little bit and he's the only one there and there's only 4 or 5 in it, 6.
Yeah.
I think that's a real good spot.
I guess we'll find out. We will find out. We don't have much. When do they usually draw the Haskell? Like Wednesday?
Oh yeah, they wait till Wednesday to draw it like idiots. Yeah.
It's the biggest race of the year for Monmouth. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And look, I think Mindframe's an automatic pick for me, pretty much. I think no matter where he runs next. So that maybe I'm too high on him, but to me, it's like
I'm still hurt by him.
I mean, just don't hit him with the left hand and just hand ride him in the stretch of the next race. He's probably going to win. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm too high on him now, but
I'm still not over the Belmont loss. So,
well,
yeah, I'll probably bet him back. I'll be honest.
I don't see how you. I know I get that is one of the most frustrating losses maybe ever.
Yeah.
I get it for sure. However, how do you watch that race and not like him even more? Right?
I mean, yeah, because you're like, this guy is so good, just needs to develop.
Yeah.
No, I did not see that, Kevin. But
Muth, are you kidding me? I
Muth is
thought
going to
Muth
run at
was like
Saratoga. Doesn't
dead.
surprise me. I mean, that he would want. He's going to bring probably the Travers, I guess. We'll see,
Let's
though.
see.
I mean, who knows if we'll ever see? That's another one. Who knows if we'll ever see Muth again? So.
Okay, he has had a couple of workouts. He did have a work on July 4th, actually. So
maybe he'll bring Prime Factor.
Prime, you mean Coach Prime?
Coach Prime. Yeah, sorry.
How about Parenting, a horse everybody was going crazy over? He's not coming to the Haskell. Yeah. So we could do a whole show on what's going on with Bob Baffert, but I don't really want to do that because there's something weird happening in that barn the last couple of years. Like strange.
How is it we have zero? I mean, this is the Haskell might as well be named the Bob Baffert Stakes, and we don't have any Bob Baffert horses in there.
He cannot keep any horse healthy.
Yeah.
And look, fast horses do get hurt. A lot of the big trainers get some horses hurt. He can't keep any of them healthy. They all are out all the time. And these horses now of his, he used to be known as that guy that can wheel them back quick. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's months between races. I don't know what he's doing, but you cannot tell me he's doing the same thing he's always done because these horses, I mean, it's crazy.
It almost makes you want. No, this is just we'll just theories, right? But like, almost makes you wonder if like because of everything that's happened, like he was like more than ever needed to like in his mind needed to like prove, so he trained him harder than he's ever trained or did whatever he's done, almost to like get back, right? And it went too far,
Mm-hmm.
This is theory. It's a working theory.
It is super, super weird. And any theory could be it. I don't know, but Nisos gone. May Moon gone. And this is a situation. Yeah, he's going to run. He didn't enter. Why didn't he enter? Oh, we're kind of just waiting around. Boom. Never see him again.
How about Arabian Night?
Where
the hell is he at?
Where's he? Muth, where is he? And we're Coach Prime. All these sorts. It's like, where are they? I don't know. And again, a lot of these big time guys do get horses hurt. It happens. But this guy over the last 2-3 years, he cannot keep anything healthy. And it's almost just a joke at this point. Like Magic was talking the other day. He's like, yeah, look out for this horse in the Classic. It's like the Classic. He was talking about Parenting. I was like, the Classic. Let's hope he runs again this year.
Yeah. And that's a good theory too. It's like maybe he's doing the exact same thing as far as how he's trained them he's ever done, but now he's maybe not getting the medication help that possibly could, where it's like, like horses running hurt, but they aren't feeling it, right, or whatever. So now they can't, and now it's hurting. Yeah, Speedboat Beach. Where the hell is he at?
And that's the thing, guys. We could sit here, and we'll come up with more and more and more as we go.
The Classic,
yeah, right. I mean, seriously, it's like Magic. Like you follow racing, right? Like,
yeah,
this fucking guy can't get a horse to run anywhere right now. Like Muth has scratched out of like 27. He scratched out of more races or not entered the day before more races than he's actually ran in. I mean, it's crazy.
It's great that we can keep National Treasure on the track. Shit.
That's just it. Everybody's like, yeah, give it to National Treasure. It's like, shit, he may be dead like tomorrow. Like that's how bad it is right now at his barn. So I'm sure people, you hate Baffert. No, it's just like I follow the sport, and it's like they're gone, they're gone.
No, Halterman has been saying this privately to me for months and months. He keeps saying same thing he just said, but something's up. Something's not the same as it used to be.
No,
and honestly, he keeps getting proven right because we're not seeing him. Right? That's That's a factor. So,
Yep.
yeah, Muth has only run once this year.
No,
Yes.
he ran twice. He ran
He
twice.
ran no.
Yeah, he ran twice. He ran the Arkansas Derby and he ran in the San Vicente.
I forgot he ran before that
Yeah.
before the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah.
That bullshit race. Yeah.
But he said he was going to the Rebel and then he didn't. He said he's going to another race and then he didn't. They said they were
Preakness.
going to the Preakness and then they didn't. So there were 3 races he was aiming for and 2 of them he actually ran in. So it's 3-2.
Where's Tabe at? No, just kidding. All right. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I had one thing to add. I did see. So I wanted. Well, Kevin's on here. I wanted to just give him the. I somehow I saw someone told me, it's like, hey, you gotta watch Dudes Who Bet from yesterday. You guys were talking about. Kevin mentioned you, and I was like, what the hell? So I watched it back last night. And I'm like, one, I appreciate the concern, Kevin. You know, that's my guy, right? Kevin is my guy. He's my spirit animal. And you know, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like this, Haltzman was right. This is not a but one, I don't know how my dating life how he even heard about this.
You told him last week.
I didn't tell him I went on a date though.
You did.
But the one he was referring to, the Bass Pro thing, like I don't know what that was. Like
Shoddy just made that up. That wasn't true.
Okay, well, I did not. I've never taken a date to Bass Pro.
No, you told us last week about it, and then he asked, and I gave the honest answer of I don't think this is serious, but we should always be concerned when Jared goes on a date because it just never seems to work out.
Yeah, that's true. But there's been since the last Blinkers offer, there's been multiple dates with multiple fillies.
Oh, okay.
And I would say none of them are in the love category.
Okay. It's good.
So we're good. We're good, Kevin. Don't worry.
I thought there was one you kind of liked.
Yeah, I mean, that one, she's kind of like, I don't know. I think she has commitment issues. Because, like, I just won't hear from her. And then she'll, like, want to go out and, like, spend the night at her house. And then I won't hear from her for, like, a couple days. And then we'll go out. You know, it's just like, all right, you know. Like, I'm not in college anymore.
Kevin, he told us he had a new one on air last week. So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember who it was. Did I?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't know. It could be either one of them.
we didn't just make it up out of thin air.
You have more than one girl. You don't have any.
That's what they say about quarterbacks.
That's so true too. Yeah. Red flag, Jared.
But
yeah,
no,
it's not a good sign. I understand that. That's why I'm not I'm not concerned about my heart getting broken. But I appreciate it, Kevin.
He did say he was back off the market.
I did not.
I'm pretty sure
There's
you
no
did.
way I said that. I think you've never been more on the market.
I think so too. I think you're so mad about the last one that you're taking it out on these poor women.
not fit well.
Not well.
Not that physically way, you know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Let me ask you a serious question before we go, because I haven't been on the air long enough today.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought about maybe trying to get somebody in horse racing?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a couple that I talked to in horse racing.
Okay.
But the problem with that is we live in Missouri. And I'm not moving because I can't, right? You know, I'm a dad. So and most girls in horse racing don't want to, like, if they're in horse racing, they probably live in Kentucky or New York or California. That's, for the most part. And so, it's it's a tough ask. That's been the run in I've had. It's hard to, like, go on a date with someone in horse racing because we live in Missouri.
Good, fair point. But you've thought about it though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had that conversation. Yeah.
Oh, have you had it multiple times?
No.
Okay, just once.
Just one.
Okay, gotcha. I know who it is. Yeah,
but she's on air, so I mean, people would know her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be a nice couple. I really do.
I do too. But to me, love has no distance limitations.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure your future wife will be at Finger Lakes this weekend watching.
I think so. I think that's where she's at. No, I don't think she'll be there. She might be at a racetrack, but not there.
Yeah, can we get Ryan? Probably Ryan would be the best fit for that, just to follow me around with the camera.
He's had, to be serious, he's had some success on horse racing trips before, but never Saratoga, which is very interesting.
I honestly, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of I'm kind of like the Lamar Jackson maybe of like once we get to the big stage, it's too much. Can't quite, just too much. It's too hard. The potential is too much there,
You swipe a lot though, so one of these
a lot
days.
of matches out there, but
Okay.
I don't know. Problem is, I don't have any single friends to like, go wingman with me. I'm not gonna. I mean, Ricky does not count. You don't need.
No.
No. Here we go with the Lamar. Oh, Ricky. Listen, you get to the big game, you can't get it done. But that's Ricky heard his name, Beetlejuice. All right, let's wrap her up. Then, any final thoughts? Any questions for me?
No, let's go.
Okay,
good to see everybody.
It's time for you to get off air, anyways. So.
I'm done.
But hey, listen, Kevin, you're always my guy, and I should probably give Kevin. I should probably give you my number. We should probably talk. Maybe he has some single, his wife now has single friends.
Oh, there you go.
Although he may not want to. He may not want to go down the road. All right, let's do it.
Bye.
See you guys. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Good luck opening weekend at Saratoga.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Blinkers Off. Join our horse racing community at racingdudes.com and follow us on Twitter at racing_dudes. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.